Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LinkedIn Live interview with our Venture ICT winners of the 2021 edition of the Venture competition. Today, I'm here with Lumiphase, Nimagna, and MapTyler, and we'll hear from each one of them on what they're doing, what their innovation is, and where they're going to go. So I would like to remind everyone who's tuning in, you can ask questions. So please feel free to type them in the chat at any time. And we'll get started now. So I'd like to ask Lucas to go ahead and introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what he's doing at Lumiphase.
Yes. Thank you, Priscilla. Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to be here. So I'm Lucas. I'm co-founder, co-CEO of Lumiphase. My background is in the semiconductor industry, where I spent the last 10 years before Lumiphase at IBM. Our team at Lumiphase builds optical communication chips. These chips are urgently needed by those who build cloud data center or internet networks. To show you a bit what I'm talking about, our chips go into this type of modules, which connect into data center and convert the data and send them into optical fiber to connect you to the data centers and to the internet. To give a bit of context, we all use and rely on data every day. So today, data became as vital as being connected to water or electricity. The reality behind this is that the data traffic is literally exploding. The IT industry behind that is actually struggling because current technologies are reaching their limits. So what's happening is everybody is looking for solutions to handle this amount of data. It's a race, and winning this race means winning a multi-billion-dollar market. We believe at Lumiphase that we are in a pole position to win this race. What we do is that we take the industry-leading semiconductor platform, it's called silicon photonics, and we enhance it with a very unique optical crystals, which allows our products to be 10x more efficient than existing alternatives. Therefore, we help customers deliver faster networks that consume less energy. As a result, we can help the IT industry to keep up with the exploding demand for more network capacity. And at the end of the day, we are making all of us better connected so that companies like Nimagna or MapTyler here, which we are going to hear about a bit later, can grow and deliver to you better internet services. So that's in short what we are doing.
Thank you, Lucas. I'm so sorry that we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but thank you very much for introducing what you're doing at Lumiphase. Now, just a quick question. How did you come up with this idea behind Lumiphase? This, like you said, it's a big race. So where did this concept come from?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. So it's actually a race we started more than 10 years ago. So
okay, so you've been racing for quite a bit of time.
It is the kind of a race where you need to prepare for a long time and then you need to execute very fast. So our founding team has 45 years of cumulative experience at IBM. Stefan, Jean, and Felix, the three other co-founders, are recognized experts in this field. And we identified back then very early the need for disruptive technologies because the industry would be going to reach these limits at some point. And we were working on this technology since 2010, very early on. It takes a long time to build up this level of differentiation and expertise. And at some point, we reached a crossing point where, on the one hand, the technology was maturing, and on the other hand, the industry need was pressing. So about a year ago, we decided to leave IBM. We founded Lumiphase so that we are able to invest massively and be fast enough to win this race.
Okay, so because you said it's a race, we'll stay with the theme of the race.
Yeah.
How did you develop the product over all this time? And or how do I phrase this? Are you fast enough, or is the market slow enough and you fast enough to be able to beat the market if you've been working on something since 2010? So does something that you're working on in 2010 become obsolete by the time you reach 2021 is what I mean?
So that's a typical thing in the semiconductor industry. So the semiconductor industry, it's for those of you who don't know it, it's we hear a lot about it in COVID times because of this global shortage of chips. So these are all these fabs which produce all the electronics chips that go into your smartphone, your computers, and so on. And behind, it's a very, very complex technology to build structures at the nanoscale, and they take a long time to develop the technology platform. Okay, and once you have the platform, going to a product is actually much faster because it's about working with customers to define the right specifications so that we address the right problem, and then designing the product and then producing it with the platform. So typically, you need to summarize, you need a long time to incubate so that your technology is ready, the platform, and then you can execute quite fast to have a winning design. And the difficult thing then, where it's really about a race, is how do you ramp up? Because here we talk about a global market, we talk about supplying millions of chips all over the world, and it's a quite high hockey stick, which we like in the startup world.
I thank you very much for that answer. I have a question from the audience, and it says, where do you stand with customers, and are you already available on the market?
Okay, that's a good question. So it's also one of the reasons that decided us for the timing to found Lumiphase. So we actually received a very good traction with customers. We are currently working with several world-leading customers that are either multi-billion-dollar company or Fortune 500. And at the moment where we stand is that we are doing the product development with them, and we are on the right timeline to be able to deliver the product to the market in about 2 years.
Okay, great. So we're almost there, right? 2 years is here in a blink of an eye.
Exactly. So in 2 years, we will not be talking about development. We will be talking about how do we supply millions of chips.
Yes, good. So I would like to invite Stefan and Peter back onto the screen and see if Peter. I can't invite you, Peter, back on. For some reason, my internet is not working very well today. But Stefan, do you have any questions for Lucas? No. No. Okay.
Very interesting. I think it's super interesting, and actually also actually plays very well into this trend. So I think that's it's very interesting. And
okay, I do have one more question for you, Lucas, from the audience. It says, what impact will your chips have on cost, energy efficiency, and accelerating workloads with respect to the ones currently present on the market?
Yes. It's a hard question because when about accelerating workloads, it depends very much on what's the workload. But in general, you see the trend is, more AI, more video streaming, more high quality. So this is data. So we need to support more and more data. And what the industry needs to do when Google builds a new data center, what they want is to have a network infrastructure which delivers higher network capacity, so more speed, while maintaining the cost and the power envelope of the thing. So in general, with our product, what we are aiming is that we can deliver the next generation of speed. So we are talking about 800 gigabit per second on a fiber at the cost point and the energy budget of the technologies of today. So it's like you try to maintain the cost and power envelope, and you try to double the network capacity every 2 years.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lucas. I will now try to refresh the page and see if I can bring Peter on so he can introduce himself.
Back to us, Lucas, to
yes.
bring the audience, I think.
If she doesn't come back, I will interview you.
I'm back.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Peter is back.
so Peter's back. So Peter, please come on stage. Here we go. And tell us a little bit about what you're doing at MapTyler.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Peter, the CEO of MapTyler, and we are developing a new generation of digital maps. In fact, more than 300 million people see our maps already on websites and in mobile application of our customers. And if you buy a train ticket in Switzerland on SBB website or mobile app, you will interact with maps from our server. Similarly, if you are going to check a weather forecast in Germany or watch a TV with the weather forecast, you may see our maps as well, check an infotainment system in the airplane, and there are dozens of other applications. And what is our team doing is that we prepare street and satellite maps, very detailed, of the entire world. And we also run a software platform, which makes it easy to integrate your own business data with the maps, very tightly integrate and link the individual information systems you have with the maps which are out there. So we are kind of competing to Google Maps platform for developers, but unlike Google Maps, we offer our business clients the freedom to easily modify the maps, personalize it for individual customers by connecting CRM systems, and also connect the existing other information system and the business data of our customers, and even redistribute the world maps inside of your products without ads and without any privacy issues or need to share any kind of personal data about customers or your own business data with a third party. I believe maps are the new web, because in many mobile applications and many websites, the map itself is filling more than 90% of the screen. And therefore, it's important for the map to communicate your brand. And the map itself creates the user interface, and it's essential for the successful businesses to control the map. And with MapTyler here to help you with this.
Great, thank you very much, Peter. So it seems like a lot of businesses are going in the direction of location-based data. Can you talk a little bit more about what you're seeing in the market, what's happening in the market, and the projections that you're seeing within this location-based data?
Yeah, now currently it's a market of about 20 billion, maybe 25 billion on the existing stage, but it's going to double at least in 5 years because all the boom of the data which are being collected. All the IoT devices are collecting location data, all the mobile phones of the customers, tracking of the packages, and everything is being kind of modernized and turned into smart devices which are connected to the internet and provide location. So more than 80% of all the data created by humankind has location information. And if you are operating this data and you want to extract information for your business, you need to understand the location, you need to visualize it, and you need to integrate it into your business processes. So it's on a boom.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it if it's doubling quite fast. Now, I know you're still in your early stages, but do you have any customers already?
Yeah. We were for 10 years, in fact, we were kind of mapping ninjas, doing consulting business in this field with my friends and the core of the team. And last year, we decided to create AG, so split from the consulting business and fully concentrate on the products in MapTyler. And even now, in a very short time, we have gained thousands of business customers on the subscriptions. And over the last 4 years, since the platform has been online, in fact, through the consulting business we started, we have had over 350,000 registered developer accounts. So it's a nice curve when people are really jumping in and are keen to try how our technology runs. And through the freemium, we are converting them to a paid customers.
Okay, wow, that's quite a bit of some traction that you have there. That's great to hear. I have a question from the audience. It says, how is personal data treated? Who are customers' data accessible to?
We
Who
are
has access
basically
to the customer's data?
Our business is maps, so we provide our customers with the data they require from us, but we don't do business with personal data at all. We can also provide a technology to be integrated fully with the customer information systems, and then we don't have even access to any kind of personal data. So the maps, in fact, the entire world, we can give them to you on a stick, USB stick like this one. So you can get your own street and satellite map of the entire world in high details today, so on a stick like this, and then integrate it with your information system and even run it on-prem or without internet connection in the intranet. But we also provide a cloud infrastructure. On the cloud infrastructure, we don't collect any personal data at all.
Okay. Okay, that's I think very important for people to know. Now, I'm curious because when people think about maps and on mobile devices, I mean, they automatically think Google Maps. What makes your product different than this plug and play that Google Maps has as a service to businesses and on websites and things like that?
Well, there are the really very large number of applications where the maps are required. And if you go hiking in Swiss Alps, you probably use the Swiss Topo maps, the official topographic maps, which are much better for the hiking than the Google Maps, where there is basically nothing in the mountains. And Swiss Topo, the Swiss government, has decided to use our technology. So if you now use the mobile app, and the next generation of the mobile app will come with the vector tiles, so you can get the beautiful Swiss style topographic maps, but on a mobile phone where you can rotate and choose the application of GPU, the gaming technology, which is accelerated on these devices. You really can interact with these maps. And this is just one application on the hiking and outdoor activities where it's significantly better than Google Maps. But when it comes to businesses, we can bring in weather visualizations, data where you really nicely see the progress of the clouds and where is precipitation, where is rain. And there are other applications where we can really connect your information system in the business, which you contain, because the weather is kind of in the ownership of the weather companies. But if you are in the logistic, if you are in the transportation, like SBB is, the SBB map shows much more dominantly the trails of and instead of highways, you see how to get to the center of town, to the nearest bus stop or train station. And this is then much better for the people to consume. And in the same moment, the map has the colors of SBB brand. So even if you see only the map, you are immediately aware that you are not using Google Maps, that you are in the SBB mobile app site or mobile web or application.
Yeah, so it's a highly personalized, tailor-made solution for businesses to be able to better communicate to their customers exactly what they're looking for, rather than just have a blanket type of standardized map. That's great. So I would like to ask maybe Lucas and sorry. We have, okay, sorry, and Stefan. Now we're here. Do you guys have any questions for Peter?
Not really a question, but maybe just a comment. I think it's great technology. I think, Peter, and I think it's, we're coming from the television industry, and I think that the ways of how you do it and how you prep actually map data presented to users, of course, a kind of the crucial part of when you actually present maps and location data in TV. So that's for sure also a very interesting market vertical to look at. So I think that's great.
Yeah. And can I ask you, so it's a really impressive traction and technology. I really love it. I also like that you connect more data to the cloud. So this is perfect for us. But I'm wondering, in the long run, what makes you stay ahead of competition? Is it also a race for you? Or do you have something unique that will really make you always ahead of this race?
It's a constant innovation which we have managed to run over the 12 years since I'm in the business. So you always have to. You are in the same business. It's in IT. So if you are developing a software, in 7 years' time it dies if you don't innovate. So we really are cutting into different directions. What is now being worked on is next to the connection of the information systems, where I believe there is a great potential because of the growing data in the different fields. People need to combine it better with the maps through link data, through identifiers, through very deep customizations of the maps. It's not about putting a pin on a map. It's about changing the map based on what you have in your business. And that's where we are very active. And the other direction is ability of the stream of data. So we are processing our own satellite map from sensors. In fact, just finished 2020 150 terabytes of satellite imagery processing. So you get beautiful cloudless map. But that's much more because it then the visual. It gives you power to recognize things, build the maps dynamically depending on the data which are being streamed in from different sensors, update it, and also derive additional information for your own business based on what is out there, basically. So those are the two biggest directions I see in the industry, and we are on both.
Yeah, thank you. It's clear.
Great. So thank you very much, Peter, for telling us a little bit about what you do at MapTyler. And now I would like to invite Stefan to tell us about what he's doing at Nimagna.
Great. So let's
get started.
Okay. So I'm Stefan. I'm from Nimagna. And we're actually two founders that already built LibreVision, which was another, it was an ETH spin-off that we built a couple of years ago. The pandemic actually changed how we live, the past 18 years and also our 18 months. And it also changed how we work together, how we work remotely. And the technology has actually become part of our daily life. We spend more and more hours, communicating remotely. But on the other hand, we're also very tired now of all these video calls and video conferences. In fact, usually you don't have, non-verbal cues. It's very hard to actually come and like me, actually kind of make gestures so that you see them. There's also awkward interfaces when you want to toggle between presenter and content. And overall, video calls, they're just a suboptimal visual experience for many applications. And this too often provides for uninspired and superficial interactions between humans. And that's not good. So Nimagna is building a software that allows you to bring real human connections into remote meetings. Through our technology, teams can be immersed in online meeting experiences that seamlessly integrate presenter and any type of content that they want to use. And this allows for natural interaction and the perception of nonverbal cues, which is super important if you really want to build connections to the audience, to participants. And of course, this is super important when you want to be kind of give a sense of being physically present in meetings, in sales pitches, actually even investor pitches, and so these things, demos and trainings. And we found a way to actually do that by using existing equipment and making this fully autonomously. In fact, I could do this right now here at home and be able to actually replace all that stuff in the background, which is not very professional, if you see that here on the back. But I can also do that from a conferencing room or even from my office. And by putting kind of the human connection at the heart of our technology, we can deliver immersive user experiences to help make remote meetings just feel more alive. This can improve employee productivity. This can reduce business travel. This can also reduce costs. And it also helps to lower the world's carbon footprint.
This sounds very, very, very timely, actually, with the pandemic and everything, and the way we have just reached out globally to each other via video conferencing. So can you tell us a little bit more concretely what makes it different than something like Zoom or Teams, or even, I think it's called
Yeah, right. I think, it's first of all, I have to maybe roll back a bit, and say where we come from, right? So we come from television technology, right? So my co-founder Christoph and I, we worked in television for almost the past 20 years, right? In various roles, in that startup that we built before. And we actually saw kind of this discrepancy between what video calls are currently doing, or Teams is doing. I mean, Teams and Zoom, they can all do the same thing, right? I could actually blur my background, or I can replace that background and put some sort of a presentation here. But you still kind of lack this immersive feeling that you actually get in TV. So if you're watching TV, do you actually see these people? You see them, in full body. It switches between different cameras. It has ways of doing what we call augmented reality. So it really becomes a part of a three-dimensional scene, and that's part of it's super important to actually get kind of this sense of presence, how we call it, over to participants. So it's all about having multiple perspectives, having always perfect framing. So it's not good enough to just show me here in this kind of thing and put something on the background. So you really have to bring in dynamics. You have to show, whenever I'm doing gestures here, in all those tools, you don't see my gestures. You see actually my fingers popping up here, but that's not good enough, because you want to get a feeling of me. And that's crucial if you think you want to do at some point tell businesses that they shouldn't travel, but actually the sales guys, they should actually do all of their sales efforts through a digital tool. And for that, you need to have this human connection to your customers or your partners.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the importance of body language, it's crucial, especially when you're trying to face, or you're in front of customers, or you're in front of an investor. I think it communicates a lot. Yeah. So I know you are also, or I mean, we're an early stage competition, but you're at an early stage, and we've seen a boom in technologies like Zoom and Teams. How do you plan to tackle these what we now can call giants in this industry with, I know you're different, but how are you planning to tackle or compete with them now?
Yeah. So I guess, first of all, I mean, the giants have already been there, right? So it's like, yeah, Zoom is kind of the only one that has been kind of showed, unprecedented growth. But Microsoft and Cisco, they have been around for many years, right? And doing exactly kind of this video conferencing. I think, for us, we're not competing with them. We're not building a video platform. That's not the goal. Our goal is really to alter the way of how we are doing this, and what we are actually transmitting over the video pipes that Lumiphase will actually be building for us to the audience. So it's not that we're seeing us as competition to Teams or Zoom or WebEx or so. It's more of an augmentation. And I think if you look at, especially what happened the last 18 months, I think users actually see now kind of the problems in all of the different use cases that they have. Well, when we're doing a one-on-one, there's probably not a big need for things like Nimagna, but when I'm doing an investor's pitch and I still want to do it remotely, I need to have an augmentation of the experience of the investors that are actually sitting on the other end of the digital pipe.
Great. I also have one question from the audience. It says, "This is very cool." What are your thoughts about metaverse?
I think, so it's a bit of an abstract question, I think. It's a very interesting question. I mean, I'm not exactly sure where that would be going to. So we're not building, digital communities or social communities. There's others that really want to go into kind of more of this metaverse and how we're really doing, how we're meeting kind of virtually in the future. I think we can play very nicely to that, but that's not kind of what we're trying to do. We really try to make a better experience when it comes to especially business critical kind of communication. So again, that we don't need to travel as much. So I traveled the last 10 years because I've been in various sales roles and training roles and business development roles all around the world. I think I shouldn't travel because that's not good for our Earth, right? So I think I really want to make a difference so that I can do what I did the past 10 years from my home or from the office.
Good. I have another question from the audience and says, does the solutions at Nimagna target any specific type of customers?
In general, I think, I mean, the customers are corporations, right? This is about, we want to improve, sales pitches, sales negotiations, trainings, demos, and kind of these things that they're doing as corporations. I think there it can range from, very big to very small. So even small companies, or even, almost like prosumers, freelancers can actually use our tool. Of course, for us, from a business side, the bigger the company, the better, because you can actually sell more seats, more subscriptions to our tools. I think it's more important to know who are we really targeting. And I think that's the marketing departments, it's the sales departments, it's the customer success functions in the corporations, all these people that have a lot of customer interactions and really want to augment those interactions.
Okay. And one question from my side, how short or long is the learning curve of your customers? Is this something that is a turnkey application? I can just click on a link and I'm in, or do I need different kinds of cameras or equipment to install myself to be able to offer this kind of augmented reality experience?
So we literally strive for having basically a super easy way to get into this. Everything that we need, you already have. If you have a webcam, you have maybe a camera in your laptop. If we want to have additional cameras, you have a mobile camera. So there's everything that you need. We actually provide a lot of software technology to kind of bring this all together. But initially, it will be something that you have to download. So you need to download a software, and then you kind of connect. You can integrate this with your Teams or with your Zoom, so that there's ways of actually doing this. So the way of getting into our software should be minimal and as non-intrusive as possible.
Good. So I'm going to ask the others, see if they have any other questions for you, Stefan.
Just one thing to make sure I understood. So if I understood concretely, it would be a tool on my PC, which would manage my video stream somehow to make the experience on my video stream. And then this video stream, I can use it on Zoom, on Teams, or whatever. So it's not a new Zoom, but it's like an add-on for any video conferencing software. Is it correct?
This is correct. It can be an add-on to every video conferencing tool. It can also be an add-on to any of your virtual events tools. So right now we're doing this on Restream. It would work perfectly in Restream as well. So it can be used in all of these different platforms. Right.
Thank you.
That's pretty exciting area indeed. I would love to buy something like that because there are things like the teleprompter, so you can look directly into the camera. In fact, which are now perhaps going to be replaced by like a camera in the center of the screen because we will have it on the mobile phones, and why not have it in the desktop monitor? And it would be lovely to have a software and hardware combination, so buying a product where you get multiple cameras and it kind of do the magic with the software to give a single stream.
So you have to probably just wait for another, give or take 6 months, and then you can probably sign up to our beta.
Okay.
I see a lot of future collaboration amongst the three of you. Thank you
provide
guys.
Augmented reality.
So I have one final question for the three of you. It's the same question. And I would like to know what it would mean for you guys to win the grand prize at Venture this year. You are all winners. We'll find out how you rank first, second, and third place at our award ceremony on September 13th at ETH Zurich. However, there is one grand prize amongst all 5 verticals. So what would it mean for you to win that prize and take home 150,000 Swiss francs? I'll start with you, Lucas.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, for us, it's something very important. I think we all are aware here that this is the most competitive startup event in Switzerland. So it means a lot for us to win it, because it means we are recognized for what we do by many experts that are the leading entrepreneurs and investors in Switzerland. So it says a lot. And for us, it's also a good opportunity to attract more people in our team. We are constantly hiring. So we are getting people from all around the world, and that's a unique opportunity to keep on executing on that.
Great, that's good. So thank you very much, Lucas. Peter.
Yeah, it would be amazing honor indeed, and boost of the visibility for the company and the brand. So that's it's great to be part of the competition and even be selected to this round. And I'm really glad it has happened. And we would invest the money into hiring and boosting the Swiss team very probably because we struggle there, and the money can be used to attract the Swiss employees, especially technical one, on growing the team in here.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you very much, Peter. And finally, Stefan.
So first of all, we are already very honored by this. Being a winner has been grand for us, and I think we have 3 great winners with a very interesting and very a diverse set of technologies there. So that's already great for us. I think going further, being number 1, of course, would give even more confirmation that we are on the right track with what we're doing. I think for us, it's like all these things. It's great to get the feedback. That's I think super important. So I'm really looking forward to the September 13 event. Being able there to pitch again. Get the feedback from the audience there and learn. Learn from that and go further.
Oh, we're very much looking forward to it too. So I would like to invite the ones that are tuning in to join us at our award ceremony on September 13th. It's at 6:30. It will be held at ETH in Zurich. And to RSVP, the tickets are free. Please go onto venture.ch and come support our startups and come see how they rank and and get to know them in person. If you have any more questions, if you want to get hired by them, if you want to work with them, or if you want to purchase their products to support them even more. So thank you very, very much, guys, for being here today. And for the audience, I will see you next Thursday at 9 a.m. with the next set of winners. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.